Yay! Hello everybody, welcome to Mario's Kingdom. Today we are traveling into the world of Harry Potter and fantasy. Not like we haven't been into the fantasy the whole time. However, today I dressed up a little bit more than normal and I felt a little inspired, so I decorated a little bit. So we just have a few more props than normal out. We have this lovely trunk. And we have a couple of our candles. And we have some lovely live plants, thanks to Jalen. I'm pretty sure this one is catnip. There we go. Lovely, lovely. I forgot what this one is. I think it might be pumpkin. And then we got our candles. And don't forget Hedwig. Hedwig. There we go. Alright, so on top of that, we are going to make another ointment or healing body butter. This time we're going to make it with regular coconut oil. It's not infused with anything. All of this is just natural product that you can just get. So, let's see. I also got these today. They knocked on my door about 10 minutes ago. So we'll unbox these together and see what's in here. Actually, I know what's in here, but I'd like to know. It's like opening is a whole new world. Okay. So there's that. And also, let's see. I gotta open this first. So this time I'm gonna try the pine. Let's see what this says. Pineberry Splash. It looks like it has strawberries and pineapple. 0 sugar. That's the best part about this drink, is that 0 sugar. Doobie. 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 Alright, we're gonna give that a good doobie shake. The doobie shake. Doobie doobie. Doobie doobie. Okay. Alright, so... Oh, okay. Oh. Hold on. So I thought it was going to be overwhelmingly pineapple, but something cuts a lot of the pineapple. Good job. And, you know, no life is complete without Karlach. Oh, no matter where we are, Karlach will follow. No matter where he will go, or no matter where we will go. Alright. It's a little hot. Woo. Okay. Alright, until we get melting, this may actually come off. But, so, also wanted to make a lot more this time to get more of that whipped consistency that I really want. I want to see it get really fluffy, to the point where it's almost melting instantly in your palm, where, you know, no, most of the time it melts almost instantly, but if you have a little chunk, it takes a moment to rub it in. But, I also want to give a little bit of it away, so I want to make enough where I still have some. And also, we're going to keep the African shea butter, and that's one major reason why we're going to do a Hufflepuff inspired body butter, because it's going to turn out yellow pretty much, so let's keep to that yellow coloring. Also, so Hufflepuff picks yellow because of wheat, and black because of soil. So that kind of fits in with their herbology and the planting, and they're loyal, and their friendship is one of the best kind of friendships that you could have. So let's get, oh yeah, we're gonna get rid of this now. It's a little too hot for that. I wish it was a Harry Potter one, but that's my Star Wars one. Alright, so let's get this heat going over here. Oh, you know what? Why don't you all follow me? There we go. So we're going to start off with a half a cup of beeswax. Actually, we might do just a little bit more than half a cup of beeswax, because we're gonna do 3 cups of that African shea butter, and that's a good amount. So let me see how much this ends up being taken out. Alright, why don't we do about almost half of this? Yeah, I would say that's pretty close to half. So that would be a fourth, right? So we have a half plus a fourth. Okay. And remember, we're gonna let the beeswax melt first, so that way it can get a nice liquid. Rewind. We're gonna melt the beeswax first because it takes longer to melt, and once we put the shea butter in, it pretty much instantly melts, and we don't want to have a lot of beeswax trying to melt while we're having the butters melt. It just kind of overburns it. Alright, where's my, I had something. Alright, you may have to move in a moment. Oh, I did forget to put gloves on too. My bad. Oh, I never turned on the stove. Alright, so I'm gonna turn it on high for like a moment until it gets hot, and then I'm gonna turn it down to like maybe even 2. Oh, the other reason why it's so hot is because this oven is on dehydrating. What is he dehydrating? I think oregano. Alright, but we can measure out some of the product that we want to use. So we're going to do 3 cups of the African shea butter. And depending how it looks, or really how much I take out of this big old block, I may take out a half a cup more. Oh, and let me turn that down to pretty much 2. We'll call that cup 1. I remember when Harry Potter first came out. It was definitely one of my favorite movies. I remember specifically when they had the wand and they hit the bricks. And this, I remember specifically because the DVD had a game where you had to remember which bricks was picked by the wand. And I remember playing that game for hours. Who knows why, though. Alright, so we're gonna call that cup 2. Cup 3. Let's see. So it does look like we put in a little dent to the butter. My bad, guys. But for why not? Let's add in 2 more scoops. Just because most likely when I'm not having this melted down before I'm measuring it, it may not have been 3 cups worth, but it's definitely over 3 cups worth now. Alright, so I gotta remember to write that down too. How's that beeswax doing? Alright, well, it's taking a little bit, so I'm gonna put it back up to like 5. Let me get this out of the way. Alright, and that's gonna be the shea butter we use. Oh, where did that box go? Right here. I'm gonna have to find a good spot for that later. Alright, and there's the bowl of that. And maybe I'm gonna clean off that. I put these spoons aside just for the lotions. That's why they're so big, because it's normally the ones I don't use for stuff, unless it's normally the ones I use for extra things and not necessarily food, like big holes. Alright, anyways, back to ooh, running low, guys, running low on the cocoon butter. Talcum butter. Talcum. That talcum. There we go. Alright. And we're not going to use much of this. I feel like just using a scoop or 2 is sufficient to get the healing properties that we want, especially because we got a lot of other stuff that's super healing, and I don't really want to go through all this. I do eventually want to make another face cream, so I will need this, but if I may even get like a different butter to do that too. Alright, so throw that in there just to kind of see measurement wise possibly how much we're putting in. And if I was to guess, I would probably say that's like 1/3 of a cup, maybe even 1/4 of a cup. I would say 1/4 of a cup. Alright, so I won't be using this for a little while. Oh, you know what? I'll make chapstick with that. That's what that will be. Is that getting rid of bubble? Oh, okay. Oh, let's turn this down before it starts yelling at me. Actually, we'll just turn it off. Just turn off. I don't even want to hear you. So, using the ceramic bowl, it seems like the boiling water kind of like gets it really hot. And it seems like it kind of keeps its heat longer too. Alright, so there's a fourth a cup of that. I don't remember what else we need that for. Alright. Kind of interested to see what it would be like without the zinc. So I think we're going to do 2 batches, one with zinc and one without zinc. Just to see what the texture difference is. Because I kind of want to play with some of these ingredients and see how different things will make these products feel, or how, if they'll help more with certain things. Will it increase its productivity? Alright, so the stove is off. So the bowl is still getting its bubbles from underneath. For coconut oil, I wonder how much coconut oil we should do. Alright, so with Carlax coconut oil, or with Carlax body oil, we did a half a cup of coconut, and it was 2 cups of African shea butter. So if we have 3.5 cups, why don't we do like 3/4 of a cup of the coconut butter? Alright, we're gonna use a fresh spoon for this, and since this is pretty much melted, we're actually gonna remove that. Fresh, unrefined. Oh, what is it? Naturally refined, expeller pressed coconut oil. Alright, so I would say there's some gaps in there, so I would say that's close enough to 3/4 of a cup, which I'm pretty sure I said 3/4 of a cup, yeah. I don't want my counter here all over me. Move this up a little bit for you. Alright, so the beeswax is almost pretty much melted. We're almost completely there. So I need a drink. I need a drink. Also, I did remember to put the mixing bowl in the freezer. This time, I also put the whisk in the freezer. So it's gonna have like super double triple cooling action. So see, we just got a little bit of beeswax left. We don't want to go absolutely crazy with heating it, and especially with all that steam coming up in our face. That's just gonna get frustrating after a while. Alright, so since that's pretty much done, we're gonna add in our butters. So we have about 3 and maybe a half, maybe 1/4 a cup of shea butter, and I would say, I think 3/4 of a cup of the cocoon. No. It was almost 1/4 a cup of the talcum butter. Alright, so we're gonna get this in here. Oh, that's almost done. So also I'm going to get this back on the heat because when we mix in the powders, I think it'll be a better idea if it's a little bit hotter than almost cool maybe. Maybe it'll help it dissolve better. And I'm not turning on the stove, it's just on the hot burner that was on. And once that melts, we'll get the coconut oil in there. And since that's a solid, we'll put that in first before we do the other oils. Then we'll do the turmeric. Now that the oven's off, it'll get a little bit cooler in this kitchen too. Whew. Ah, that's hot! Alright, so this morning I made my Millen tea. I'm not sure, I gotta remember how to say that. And Jalen has his chocolate mint that he was growing out of there, and he dehydrated it. And then we steeped it with the tea, so it's an actual sweetener by itself. So I didn't add any honey, but let's see how it tastes. It doesn't taste bad, but I like my tea hot. I almost forgot to turn it on. I'm also thinking about turning this back on, maybe? No. I'm just gonna be patient. Just be patient. I got an idea. We're gonna get it to melt faster. I love my wand. This is the first wand I got. This is the only wand I have. Jalen has a wand, but let me know what kind of wands you guys have. I have a Death Eater wand. I know it doesn't fit in with the Hufflepuff, inspiration today, but I don't have a Hufflepuff wand. I have a Slytherin wand. So what kind of wand do you have? I'm also gonna put this back on simmer just to get a little bit hotter because I think it just needs a little help. I don't want it to get solid. Alright, so coconut oil is there. Turmeric we are definitely using, so we'll get that ready. See, I always go back and add more. I have... No! Ugh. At least there was a clean one already. Alright, let me put a little bit more in there. Alright, that's better. Alright, and then it's already yellow, so we're gonna add in our soy lictin. Helps our bonding agent. What is beeping? Oh. Like, what is beeping at me? It's my tea. It's reminding me my tea is ready. Needs to be hotter. Alright. And so we don't forget, we're going to add cornstarch. Alright, so yesterday, or this morning really, starch, I feel like I should add more cornstarch than that. The face cream that we did, that we did this morning, Jalen says he likes the feeling of it, but I feel like there's a little bit too much of a residue. He loves it. In fact, he told me not to touch it, so I'm not gonna mess with that one. But this one, I'm gonna add in extra cornstarch. So I don't know if I said, but the stove is back on simmer because it looks like it needed a little help melting. Come on. Alright, so for this, I think we're gonna add like 2, maybe 3 spoonfuls of this. You know what? We're gonna do 2 because we can always add more. And I did a second keeping one, and I feel like that may have been exactly what I wanted. Exactly. Fudge. Ooh, I felt like that cinnamon girl for a second. Woo! Oh, chow. Oh. Hey. Oh my. Alright, so that was very pleasant. Um, and then zinc. I really prefer to add it in that. Oh, you know what? I would put it in a separate bowl. And then we'll just kind of mix that one separately. No, that's not good. You know what? We can let it cool while the other one is mixing because the other one will not have to go back in the freezer since the bowl is already frozen. So let me use the small bowl because it's still liquid. Alright, so we're going to get a spoonful of sugar, help the medicine go down, the medicine go down. Alright, so about a heaping full of this spoon. And that shall be separate. I'm very interested to see how that all pans out. Alright, so this is still melting. It's on a nice simmer. May even turn this up for a minute because this may have actually cooled. So just for a moment, turn this sucker on high. Coconut oil. Alright, so garlic, the coconut oil, and then we'll do the grapeseed, almond oil, and grapeseed, almond oil, avocado oil, and also this time we're going to add castor oil because that is also good for, I think overall, I don't want to be touching these, redness and puffiness, so everything is just going to help keep skin very nice. Oh, let's turn this back down. Actually, maybe even turn that off now that's hot enough. Okay, now it's too hot, so I'm gonna have to let that sit for a minute. I just really don't want it steaming and snapping at me, so I'm just gonna put it back onto center. Alright, so I have the coconut oil and the other oils that are about to be added in. So we'll do these over here. I already used that. That's over here separate. And you know what? Since there's a lot less, we're not even going to use most of the zinc. We're going to put some of the zinc back. Mainly because I think that's just a lot. We're going to do half of that. That's a lot better. Actually, maybe even... That looks about a tablespoon. I was gonna say, if you could see my counter now, you would just see spoons. Well, spoons and measuring cup. Let's get that shay melted. There we go. And honestly, I don't know how much is left out of the grapeseed oil, the avocado oil, and the almond oil, but it feels like they're all pretty much up to this level. So we're just going to finish off the bottles with those. And the castor oil, we'll put about that amount, about that amount into it. There we go. We'll get there one day or another. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you one way or another. Whew, it is hot. This oven needs to cool down. I don't want this to get too hot when it's after it's been in the freezer, so we're not going to put that in the freezer. We're just gonna kind of let that settle for a second. Oh, that pine berry is really good. I'm so happy I like that. I was really afraid I wasn't gonna like it. Alright, come on, let's get the melting now. I'm pretty much ready for you. Normally, it's ready for me, and I'm like, oh, I need to hurry! But no, come on. I think this time also, since there's so much more product in here, we're actually gonna get that whipped consistency that I've been wanting. However, I was thinking about splitting it up, so I don't know. Well, if I'm splitting it up, should I put more butter into it? No, because then I'm gonna need other stuff that's more. Hold on. What did I tell you about me going back and adding more of something? About a fourth a cup. Actually, I would say that's close to a third of a cup. Let me write that down before I actually forget that too. I should have probably broke it up at least a little bit. Ooh. Get that a little warm. So we did, I would say it was about 3 1/4 cup at first, and then I would say we added at least a third a cup. Oh, and it's bubbling, so we're gonna turn that off. And I'm gonna rub the butter along the bottom of the bowl. And it'll probably help it melt a little bit more faster. Alright, so if we did 3 1/4 cup and then a third cup more, what would that be? Does anybody know math off of the top of their head? Hmm. Um, so I feel like it's close to like 3/4. So 3 3/4 cups of the African shea butter. 3/4 of a cup of beeswax. 1/4 a cup of the cocoa butter. 3/4 cup of coconut oil. I would say a fourth or a third of a cup of avocado, grapeseed, and almond oil. A tablespoon of cornstarch, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. A tablespoon of turmeric, a tablespoon of soy lecithin. I don't know if I'm saying that right, excuse me. Alright, so this is melted pretty much. We're going to add in our coconut oil and our other oils now, since it's pretty much melted. And we'll put this back on here as long as it doesn't go crazy. And I'll let you guys see it maybe. No, that's about as good as you're going to get in there. So let's get this coconut oil in here. There we go. So the coconut oil is going to melt really fast, which is why we're doing those oils last. It's not really going to need to melt, it kind of just... Oh, it's boiling, so we're going to take that off. We don't want it to boil. We don't want it to boil. Alright, so yeah, that looks about a fourth of a cup. I can't believe this is already gone. I'm going to save these because these will be good for massage oil. I think I might make massage oil next, but I don't have exactly what I need for the massage oil. Alright, let's see how much almond oil is in there. That brought us up to almost half a cup. So I would say there's almost a fourth a cup in here. And then the avocado oil, which should bring us almost to 3/4 of a cup. I would say close enough. So yep, there was about a fourth a cup of that in there as well. And then we are going to actually top off the rest with the castor oil. My skin actually looks pretty good. I'm going to use that face cream that we made this morning together. Right after, while we're taking a little break. Because that feels so good. It is so protecting for the skin. And my skin looks like it is glowing today. Alright, so... Ooh. That's a lot of the castor oil. Maybe I should have used a little less. But it definitely looked like the other ones were about a fourth of a cup. But that took like half of this bottle. And I made 3 different products, right? We made 3 things so far, right? Alright, so anyways, let's put this oil in here. And that is good. Give this a good little mix. So we still got a couple chunks in here. So I'm just going to put this right back on the burner for a moment. It's not on. It is just still hot. And we're definitely going to have enough to make enough for 2 different colors. Which unfortunately the other color is going to be as close to black as we can get. Because black for Hufflepuff is soil. And the yellow is wheat. And that's what we're gonna have, a nice little whipped mixture together, I'm hoping. But we'll see when it comes to that. So I don't think I need that, but let me hold on because sometimes I clean stuff before and I shouldn't because I need to wait. So it doesn't look like there's anything more on the bottom, but there are 2 little chunks that are floating around. Oh, the oven has cooled off, so it's gotten cooler in the kitchen too. Whew. Because for a moment it was hot. Could you melt a little bit faster, please? You are the last piece. And you're gonna bother me if you don't melt. Alright, I think that is... Oh, it's all melted. Okay. So we are gonna keep it on the burner. And... Alright, how am I gonna do this? I need like an extra hand somehow. Alright, so this I'm gonna need... Ooh, I need a dry spoon. Alright, what one looks... Oh, this one is what I used to pick that stuff up anyway, so that's alright. Oh, actually, maybe I can get a little bit closer over here too. This is gonna have to wash, and then please don't burn me. It's stuck. I don't have many gloves left. I need to really get gloves. And you know what? Just for fun, for editing later. Alright, the bowl is still gonna stay hot for a while. Ceramic keeps its heat pretty well. But also, I don't want to spill that product all over the place. There. So that's done. Honestly, spoons can go in the top. And also, I need my counter space back. And it's okay that we're taking our time at this point. It needs to cool down slowly, and it's pretty hot right now. It's okay. It's not a big deal. There's that here. Make this a little bit easier to grab. Give this a stir. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Let's look at that while we put in our mixture and see how this turns out. God, and I need to get better gloves too. Oh. It's like my hands grew over the last couple moments. Alright. So got our sifter, and we're gonna do a little bit at a time, so that way it doesn't clump up in there too. So just dump it right in there. Let all the loose stuff get going. Oof, I did not want it to do that. Alright, so either way, let's just finish this out. Oh! Oh! Wow. My special self. I gotta figure out a better way to put the powders in too. Oh, I guess it's hot enough where it's kind of dissolving. Can you guys see that? So we have not added the zinc yet, but we will in a moment, but only to half of this. But I want to make sure this is very well mixed together before we transfer it, because I don't want some to be really good and some not to be good enough. I'm almost tempted to add in the zinc after this is blended. Tempted, 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 tempted. I wonder what the best way of getting this out is, because pouring it, I may spill it all over the place. So it doesn't look grainy. I feel like as soon as I add the zinc, that's what makes it grainy. I almost want to whisk it a little bit. Oh, you know what? I am gonna give it a little whisk. I am. Because, I want to make sure everything at the bottom is very well mixed in there. See, I can already see a little change in color, so that means there was stuff settling at the bottom. I'm gonna mix this for a couple minutes, because it's okay to let it cool, because half of it is not gonna go in that steel bowl frozen. Yeah, I still see chunks too. Wow, this is like perfect. I need a collection of these. This is Pampered Chef too. Thank you. Oop! I got that. Oh no, I got it everywhere. I think I'm gonna use the zinc with the yellow, so that way it kind of makes, maybe the zinc will help lighten up the yellow when we put it in there, so it's not like a musty mustard um color. Oh, there's a chunk. Okay, so that's kind of cool. We're gonna take that out. All right, so that's that, and we're going to get this bowl and somehow scoop a little bit. I guess I can just use this and then. No, I don't want to use this stuff. Wish me luck, everybody. We're about to see if I am able to succeed or if I'm again going to fail. I am so nervous. Please don't. I feel like that's good enough for that second batch. So I always know it's probably going to spill from the bottom when I do that, so I like to hover the bowl over just in case. This is already starting to cool in here, so we'll use this as the black. Give this one last little whisk. Actually, let's add. Oh no, I already put that in there. I cleaned the sink before this started, so let me just put this over here. The zinc, I don't know. Normally it like super thickens up as soon as I add it. Kind of like gravy. Yep, see, it's like gravy. And I see an awful lot of oil. Well, not an awful lot of oil because half the product is oil. I'm kind of debating if I want to put some more cornstarch in there too. Alright, so this one is going to be yellow. It's going to have zinc in it. I am adding more cornstarch. So the black one, I'm not going to add more cornstarch and I'm not going to add the zinc. And we're going to see what kind of difference that gives us. I don't want any powder on the edges. Now look at that. That looks so good, don't it? Alright, so we're going to let this go on the side for just a moment. And we're going to work on the yellow one first. So that way the black doesn't mess up anything. And this one does not have zinc in it. We did not add any extra cornstarch besides, I think, the 2 tablespoons that we did. And it's keeping like a thick texture still, but it's still kind of transparent. It's not as thick as the other one. So let's see. Let me take these off. I think I got a couple more layers left. Yeah, bright light, bright light. Let me clean up a little bit. We're done with the measuring cup, we're done with the oil, we're done with that measuring cup. Might not be done with the spoon, spatula. That's the other spatula I use. I don't remember what I used that for, but that will go in the box. That can go there for now. We are a little bit more cleaned up. It looks like this